Hey guys, this is Josiah here. Welcome back to another episode of Josiah's Grape Reviews. I know it is Friday night, but better late than never, am I right? So we're going to review the San Diego Street Course at the Naval Base Coronado. We're going to review the Truck Series, O'Reilly, and Cup races, all back to back to back. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and go with it. Starting with the Truck Series, it was Caden Honeycutt who won the pole. Stage 1 was ended up being won by Lane Riggs. Stage 2 was won by Parker Kligerman. The race as a whole, eventually, the fastest trucks in the race were, without a doubt, guys like Lane Riggs, Caden Honeycutt, Chandler Smith, and yes, even Jimmy Johnson, who was back and won off in the Truck Series, as well as racing the Cup Series. He had a fast truck. He started top 5, ran top 5 pretty much most of the race, took the lead for a brief shining moment in Stage 2. Looked like he was going to cruise to at least the top 10, but some issues in the final stage towards the latter half, towards the end, caused him to have a pretty bad finish. He actually had some, I think she had some mechanical issues. Forced him to finish 6 laps down in third, which is tough to see. Was rooting for him there. I know a lot of us were. You had a couple like wrecks and lazy spins, which is bound to happen at a street course that nobody's ever been to before. But eventually it set up an overtime restart. Caden Honeycutt and Chandler Smith were on the front row, but they made contact a couple corners in, and both of them wrecked. Shout out to FS1 for showing Chandler Smith stopped on the track for 10 seconds before finally cutting to the lead, the battle for the lead between Lane Riggs and Daniel Hemrick. Just great job, FS1. That was, yeah, great job. But anyways, at first, the battle for the win, eventually, it looked like it was going to come down between Lane Riggs and Daniel Hemrick. With 2 to go, they kind of swapped the lead back and forth. Riggs eventually got the lead, then overdrove a corner, and Hemrick was able to get back beside him. But then Tyler Reif in third was able to drive by both of them, and he took the lead even after some contact with him and Hemrick. But he took the lead with the 1 to go, and looked like Tyler Reif, who's not even full-time in the Truck Series, looked like he was going to pull off an upset win and hold off Lane Riggs to do so. Riggs had gotten by Hemrick, and Hemrick actually had to drive the whole final lap with a flat tire, which was insane that he was able to do that. But it looked like Tyler Reif was really going to get his first career Truck Series win, but on the final chicane with about 2 corners to go, he overshot it. Riggs got by him. Reif had to stop and actually finished 19th. I thought he crossed the line 7th, but he got pushed back to 19th, which I didn't notice until I looked at it. But Lane Riggs ended up getting the win at Naval Base Coronado. Lane Van Rigsbergen, or whatever he said in this post-race interview. But there's that. Lane Riggs ended up getting the win. Had one of the fastest trucks, if not the fastest truck, so congrats to him. Did deserve it. He also won the St. Pete race earlier. I think that's why he referred to himself as Van Rigsbergen or whatever, so congrats to him. Daniel Hemrick comes through to finish 2nd with a flat tire, which is pretty insane. Look at some of these guys who finished up front. Kaz Garala, Landon Lewis, 3rd and 4th. How about that? Ty Majeski comes up to get a top 5. How about the Dodge Ram guys? They're not having a good season, but Haley and Butterbean Queen finished 6th and 7th. Ben Rhodes gets an 8th place finish. Christian Eckes and Giro round out to finish inside the top 10. Minnie Tyrell, another Dodge Ram guy, outside the top 10. Further down, Adam Andretti finished 14th, and Parker Kligerman finished 18th. After the race, Kligerman was not happy with Adam Andretti. I guess he tried to kill him, and I guess he did make some contact, but I watched the footage of them two talking out, and my goodness, I couldn't believe that. Adam Andretti is, yeah, I'm going to keep my opinions to myself, but what the heck was he doing? What was he doing? I don't know. That's insane. But Kligerman, I think, called him a disgrace to the Andretti name, which was hilarious. No offense to Adam Andretti, but I haven't seen a replay of what happened, but if what Kligerman is saying is true, which it sounds like it is, then you deserve it. I'm sorry. I'll put the blame on Andretti, but I'll have to see replay. If somebody has a replay, let me know if you're watching this. I'll try and find one in the foreseeable future to look at and see if Kligerman is right. Sounds like he is, but pretty crazy after the race. Brennan Gaughan was also in a one-off in the Truck Series. Said he would not return again, so there's that. He ended up coming through 16th. He had a pretty quiet day. Frankie Muniz actually got a top 20, so shout out to him. Chandler Smith got credit for the fastest lap. Justin Marks was in the race. He had some issues. Nathan Nicholson had some problems. Jamie McMurray was in the race, too. Finished 2nd to last, above another Dodge Ram guy, Corey LaJoy. McMurray also on the Dodge Ram, so there was that. Looking at the point standings in the Truck Series, the top 5, Lane Riggs has a 65-point lead over Caden Honeycutt. Chandler Smith, Giro, and Christian Eckes are inside the top 5. Inside the playoffs are Majeski, Rhodes, Hemrick, Ankrum, and Jake Garcia. So now moving on to the O'Reilly race, which happened the next day on Saturday. If I can get to it here, hopefully I can. Yeah, there we go. Races, San Diego. On pole, it was Brent Curtis. He got his first career pole. He's been impressive this season, even though he's not ran a full schedule in the O'Reilly Series. Technically, he is registered as a rookie, but he's doing everything he can to get into the playoffs. He had a fast car in this race, but I think he had some problems, and that took him out of it. Austin Hill ended up winning stage 1. Stage 2 was won by Taylor Gray in an epic battle between him and Parker Retzlaff. Taylor Gray, it looked like he was probably going to win the race. He had the lead on the final lap, but much like the truck race, the guy who took the white flag did not win the race. This time it was Austin Hill to spoil the party. He bumped him. Racing for the win. No harm, no foul. I know Austin Hill's had some problems in the past with egregious, aggressive driving, taking it over the top, in many people's opinions. But I think it was clean what he did, and Austin Hill finally got his first career road course win at Naval Base Coronado. So shout out to him. RCR's first win since the unfortunate passing of Kyle Busch. So that was huge there. So shout out to Austin Hill. Shout out to RCR getting the win there. Austin Hill comes through to just his second win of the season. He won the first race of the season at Daytona. Has had a fine. He's just been quiet. He's had a fine season. He's had a below average season, I would say, but he gets the win here. Taylor Gray still comes through to finish second. Sheldon Creed had a fast car, despite being involved in the big mess that happened in stage 2. I'll get to that in a moment. But he finished third. Carson Quabble was up there leading. Looked like he was going to get his first career win. But him and Taylor Gray made contact with about 4 to go, battle for the lead. Spun him out. Still came through to finish fourth. They talked afterwards. I don't know. It's hard to say. But most people are putting the blame on Taylor Gray. I think, if I remember correctly, I apologize if I'm wrong. But just that was a little bit too over aggressive there by Taylor Gray. If I'm actually remember correctly, hopefully I remember correctly. But a little too overboard there. But that happens, Sammy Smith come through to finish inside the top 5. Jesse Love 6th. I think he had to do a pass-through at the beginning of the race, so somehow he finished 6th after all that. Crazy. Parker Retzlaff had a great day, continues to impress this season for Viking Motorsports. He gets 7th. Austin Green, road course ace, gets 8th. Harrison Burr 9th. Corey Day had a backup car, had a bunch of issues, but still got a top 10 after all that. Pretty crazy. Some of these guys down here had quiet days. Moving down here, Caruth 22nd had a quiet day. Jesse Wuju was back. He got a top 25. Most of the guys down here did not get good finishes because of the big incident that happened at around mid to late stage 2. It was a battle for the lead between I think it was Zilich and Van Gisbergen were both in the race, and I think they were both up there, if I remember correctly. Oh no, that was the Cup Series. I'm getting that confused with the Cup Series, ladies and gentlemen. This was a whole. It was Sam Mayer that basically initiated the incident. Because pretty similar thing happened to the Cup Series. I'll get to that in a moment too. Where Sam Mayer in a corner or two after the restart, he hit the wall, came up and had a huge hit and took out a bunch of cars. Guys like William Sawalich down here, they got a bunch of damage. Sheldon Creed got damaged. Some guys were able to continue with their damage, but it was a mess. Sam Mayer owned up to it and apologized. But it broke the wall, so they had to do a red flag for about 45 minutes to repair it, and it was just a mess. But Mayer was okay, luckily, because he took a pretty big hit. Everyone was okay, got away unscathed with no injuries, so that's good to know. But Austin Hill got the win. I apologize if the camera's shaking. The way I'm supporting this, my phone is kind of weird. I've got cars with support, putting it up like this, and it's kind of if it bounces, I apologize. It might be hitting stuff. I apologize, but anyways. So Allgaier has the point lead by about 224 points over Jesse Love. He's already clinched his spot in the playoffs, technically, because of how far ahead he is, so pretty crazy. Corey Day, Sheldon Creed, and Austin Hill are inside the top 5. As for the playoffs, the chase, technically, Brandon Jones, Carson Quapple, Sammy Smith, Parker Retzlaff, Taylor Gray, Sam Mayer, and William Sawalich are all holding on to chase spots as of right now. Now moving on to the third and final race from the weekend. I think the ARC race had happened at Berlin, and Max Reeves won, so shout out to him. I'll at least mention that. But the third and final San Diego race to happen was the Cup Series on Sunday. It saw Shane Van Gisbergen start on the pole. Stage 1 ended up being won by Ryan Blaney. Stage 2 by Ryan Preece. As for the race as a whole, early on it was your typical guys up front, Van Gisbergen, Zilich, those guys, they had fast cars. Austin Hill was up there. They were battling, but once again, just like what happened in the O'Reilly race, an incident happened in stage 2 up front. This time it was actually for the lead. I think it was Austin Hill, and I think it was either Van Gisbergen or Zilich up front. I think it was Zilich up in the front row with him. But they were racing for the lead. I think it was Hill who initiated it. He made contact with Zilich. They got up in a very similar area where Mayer hit. Collected Van Gisbergen, collected a bunch of other guys. They got damaged. And because of that, Van Gisbergen and Zilich DNF'd in this race in 37th and 38th. I see Christopher Bell. Well, Bell DNF'd dead last. I think he actually had to get out of the car because Brent Cruz had to take over. He couldn't. He's still, his wrist is still injured from his big crash in Michigan. So Brent Cruz had to fill in for him. And Cruz had an engine issue on the caution before the big wreck, so that's why Bell/Cruz is listed DNF and dead last, which sucks to see. But Hill, Zilch, Vegas, Burn, all of them DNF. They were all able to not continue because of it. But that opened the door for a bunch of guys to take advantage of it. We saw a bunch of guys up front for the win. Guys like Larson, Bubba Wallace. 2311 race really shined in this race. Tyler Reddick had the lead. Corey Heim was up there, obviously. The race ended up coming down to between Tyler Reddick and Corey Heim. Heim tried so many times he would close in, then Reddick would stretch it back out. But then with about I want to say 3, 4, 5 laps to go, Heim got there. I think they made some contact. Heim, I think Reddick got up in the wall or something, or Reddick pushed Heim into the wall, and then weirdly enough, this was controversial. I don't have to look it up. I know it was controversial. But Reddick almost stopped and almost let Heim get the lead, which I know a lot of people are not happy. But eventually, what ended up happening is Reddick ended up cutting a tire, and he was forced to pit. So even if he had it stopped, it would not have mattered. So if he didn't have a flat tire, then I would agree. It is weird. It is weird that it seemed like he let him go, and it kind of sucks. He's basically handing it to him. But I think it's I don't know. He pushed him up in the wall, so he's gonna let him have it. I think he just is forfeiting, just knowing that Hyde probably has the faster car. He deserves to be up front, and Reddick is trying to nurse home a car that has a flat tire. Obviously, he couldn't. Like I mentioned, he pitted. Then had to, drive his way through the field on the final lap. But anyways, either way, Corey Heim in his 13th start was able to get his first Cup Series win. Heim time makes it to the Cup Series. Already announced that Corey Heim will be full-time for 2311 Racing next year, replacing Riley Earps in the 35. Should have happened a year or two earlier, but that's besides the point. But Corey Heim showed us why. But coming to San Diego, Naval Base Coronado, where no one's ever been to before, and that's where Corey Heim got his first career win. Pretty crazy. But shout out to Corey Heim, man. Absolutely deserves his win. So he got the win. Bubba Wallace by 10 seconds back. He ended up getting a runner-up finish. I think that's the second top 5 in road course ever for Bubba Wallace. That's pretty crazy. Kyle Larson is knocking on the door. He hasn't won in over a year, but he's getting close to that win, y'all. Larson fans, he's getting close. Don't worry. He gets the third. Zane Smith in fourth. Very impressive job by him. AJ Allmendinger, who has kind of taken a step back, it seems like, from road course racing, or being good on road courses, especially in the Cup Series. But he gets the top 5. Busher, who has the best average finish of anybody at road courses in the next gen, he gets 6th. Chastain gets 7th. Earps 8th. Ryan Blaney and Michael McDowell, they get top 10s as well. Ryan Preece, 11th. Chase Elliott was awful, and I mean awful. He was one of the slowest cars on track, but took advantage of some guys wrecking out and spinning out and doing all that. He spun out actually himself with contact with Austin Cindric, but he took advantage of that and ended up getting himself a 12th place finish, which was higher than he was all race, but not even close. Suarez in 13th, Denny Hamlin in 14th. He got to the top 10, and for a small period, it looked like, oh my gosh, he's going to pull it off. He's going to actually contend for the win and get 4 in a row. No, that didn't happen. Spoiler alert, that didn't happen. But he gets 14th. Ty Gibbs, 15th. A lot of the guys up here, Logano, Briscoe, Cindric, those guys, they did get good finishes. Kevin Magnussen actually gets credit for the fastest lap. Magnussen running, I think, his first career Cup Series race in the Project 91 car. He gets 27. Jimmy Johnson spun. It wasn't like the Truck Series where he was up front. Nope, he had issues throughout the race. Comes through to finish in 28th. Josh Berry, those guys, and everybody else. Ty Dillon, Cole Custer, Byron Stenhouse, Kozlowski, Gregson, they were all involved in incidences that took him out multiple laps down and off the pace. So there was that. Looking here at the point standings in the Cup Series, Tyler Reddick holds a very narrow 8-point lead over Denny Hamlin. He had over a 100-point lead, and Denny Hamlin has chopped it down to just 8 points heading into the in-season tournament at Sonoma. Ryan Blaney's too far back, 133 back. Blaney, Larson, Gibbs, they hold on to the top 5. Elliott has fallen back to 6, but still holds on to a top 6 spot. Busher, Suarez, Hocevar, and Briscoe, the top 10. Other guys holding on to chase spots are Bubba Wallace, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Eric Jones, Austin Cindric, and Ryan Preece. So there is that. Now, reviewing the San Diego Naval Base Coronado races as a whole, was it a success? Was it not? Overall, I'd say it was good. I won't say it was great, because obviously the wrecks that happened with Mayer and Hill and those guys, it was messy. I'll admit it. And the wall, coming undone, it got messy, and it got pretty annoying having to sit through the red flags, having them repair it. It is a street course. It's not like they have big professional architects to make these big bulky walls to support everybody. I don't know. It's just they're there. It's meant for just a one-off street course race. So they're just gonna kind of like go as they go along and pay their dues and just I don't know, just put something down, I guess, and see if it works. And yeah, but overall, should they return to San Diego or should this be a one-off? Honestly, I do think this should be a one-off. I think this was pretty much done because of the 250th anniversary of America, and I like that tradition. I like that they're doing it for America at the Naval Base Coronado. I think that's pretty cool. But if they do come back, I won't be against it. It's just going to be weird because, again, I feel like they did this because of the 250th anniversary. Then it's not going to, obviously in the future, it's not going to be 250 years of America. So then it's just going to seem like, why are we doing this? The purpose of this is in the past then, so why are we still doing this, But I wouldn't be against it. I know there's rumors already of this Chicago street course making a return, potentially replacing Chicagoland. I would not like that. I would want to see Chicagoland. Obviously, Chicagoland's in a couple weeks. We'll see how it does with the next gen. We'll see how the race is. A lot of people want Chicagoland to return. It is on the schedule for a couple weeks. I want it to stay, but street course might be coming back. Maybe the Chicago street course race can take over the San Diego date, and that way the Chicagoland can still be run on like the beginning to mid-July. I think is when it is supposed to be run this year. So hopefully they both can fit, but we'll just have to wait and see on that. But overall, good. Wasn't great because obviously the messes kind of tanked the score down a little. But anyways, as for the rating, I will give it on the Grape meter. I'll give it a solid 6 out of 10. It was above mid. It was good. I didn't mind it, but it wasn't like above and beyond. You had some spins, you had some goofy wrecks, but that's pretty much bound to happen when you're racing on a street course that you've never raced at before. You're bound to have these, mistakes and slip-ups. But it kind of got too overdone with the Mayer wreck, with the Hill wreck, and with the wall coming apart. It just seemed like it was poorly done. And I understand that. A lot of people were frustrated, and I understand that completely. But still a good race nonetheless. I didn't hate it. But with that is going to do it for this episode of Josiah's Grape Reviews. Sonoma is this weekend. Already had practice and qualifying for the O'Reilly race. Shane Vegasbergen, Shocker, was on the pole. Cup race, well, the qualifying and practice will be run tomorrow with the O'Reilly race tomorrow. Then Sunday will be the Cup race. It'll be the first race of the in-season tournament. I would like to potentially give some predictions for the in-season tournament tomorrow, but no guarantees by me. You know that. But we'll see. If there's a video tomorrow, there's a video tomorrow. There is. If not, then yeah. But either way, that's going to do it for this episode of Josiah's Grape Reviews. Hope you guys did enjoy. And as always, you know what to do. Smash like, subscribe, hit that little tiny notification bell. That way you never miss any new videos just like this one. And as always, just do it as a suggestion by yours truly. Maybe one day I'll say this fluently and correctly and not speech impediment myself out of this. I don't know. I apologize for that. But anyways, see you guys then in the next video. See you guys then. Bye.